Welcome back to Friends and Neighbors, Wagner Brothers podcast, in which we endeavor towards depth and simplicity despite an often shallow and complex world. I'm Benjamin Wagner, and today, Dear Elizabeth. Back then, I spent a lot of time on my fire escape. Hell's Kitchen just made better sense from just a few flights up. My first apartment there on 56th and 10th Avenue was across the street from a New York City public high school. We looked right in on the classrooms. In those early days at MTV News, I woke before dawn, strode into 1515 Broadway by 5 o'clock, published my first news story by 6, and was home by 3. I spent months of afternoons alone on that fire escape, strumming my Takamine, watching the students mill about below. Sometime in the fall of 1998, I spotted a janitor slowly pushing his broom across the classroom. He bent down to pick something up, a note, the kind teenagers scribble on notebook paper, fold and pass amongst themselves to punctuate the algebra doldrum. And then the janitor, tall, lanky, pale, unfolded it, stood motionless, and began reading. Dark falls too early these days. As I begin my shift, all silence and cold fluorescent light. You get used to it. Adrift in a fog of memories, our protagonist is paralyzed by a wave of loss and regret. I take my time, he says, hiding away, above the night, nearly asleep. I take my time. The school is empty, the rush and whir of students through hallways frozen, as our protagonist reads on, evoking archetypes of love and loss. Halls lost their laughter this afternoon when they ran off to the play. I know they'll be back here together soon, Joan of Arc and JFK. And then the refrain, a wish, concession, and prayer. Dear Elizabeth, deliver me, deliver my soul, I gave it away. Dear Elizabeth, remember me whole. I still have something to say. He folds the note, tucks it into his pocket, and begins pushing his broom. The edges are torn now, ink fades to gray, and I resume my shift. And finally, the line that has traveled with me through time, making cameos in other songs and on other albums. What's left behind to shoulder grows weightless. Like the early darkness of winter or the soul-crushing monotony of a day job, we assume the weight of our burdens. The load we carry becomes us. We get used to it. I called the song Night Watch and recorded a solo acoustic version live to tape in November of 1999. It was released on a limited-run EP called The Legend of the Evening Star in December. The next summer, as I began recording the album that would become Crash Site, we re-recorded it. The full band version was sluggish and loping, though, a distant lesser sibling to the crackling original. And so we added drums, bass, electric guitar, backing vocals to that original live track. I was on my way to drop 350 full-color postcards with the album cover on front, a jet plane shuddering and trembling as it approached a crash landing, into the Radio City Station mailbox when I saw smoke billowing from the Twin Towers. The letters were never sent. By the time Crash Site was released in December, I had conceded the inevitable, renaming Night Watch what it demanded all along. Dear Elizabeth was already a set staple. 20 years later, as I assess my best and favorite work for my new collection of greatest hits, Elizabeth is probably my greatest. I know this from watching audiences sway and sing. I know this from riding the minor fall and major lift like surf, from wringing every second of breath from my belly until the final note floats down across the instruments. Darkness returns, and I resume my shift. Dear Elizabeth, from the forthcoming collection Essential Benjamin Wagner, 2001-2021, is available now on Spotify, Apple, and everywhere you download or stream music.
Dark falls too early these days as I begin my shift. All silence and cold fluorescent light, still you get used to it. I take my time gliding away above the night, nearly asleep. I take my time. Dear Elizabeth, deliver me, deliver my soul. I just gave it away. Dear Elizabeth, remember me whole. I still have something to say. All's lost their laughter this afternoon when they ran off to the play. And I know that they'll be back here together soon, Joan of Arc and JFK. Take my time gliding away above the night, nearly asleep. I take my time. Dear Elizabeth, deliver me, deliver my soul. I just gave it away. Dear Elizabeth, remember me whole. I still have something to say. I took you for granted every day. I'm not so romantic, what else can I say? I won't take you for granted. Edges are torn now and ink fades to gray. I resume my shift. What's left behind to shoulder grows weightless. You get used to it. Take my time gliding away above the night, nearly asleep. Take my time. Dear Elizabeth, deliver me, deliver my soul. I just gave it away. Dear Elizabeth, remember me whole. I still have something to say. Dear Elizabeth, deliver me, deliver my soul. I just gave it away. Dear Elizabeth, remember me whole. I still have something to say.
Friends and Neighbors is a Wagner Brothers production. Download our podcast on Apple, stream it on Spotify, watch it on Facebook or YouTube, and subscribe to our newsletter at friendsandneighborshow.com. And if you're moved or inspired by what we're doing here, please, for heaven's sakes, rate, comment, and share Friends and Neighbors with your friends and neighbors. I'm Benjamin Wagner, and until next week, it's a good feeling to know we're lifelong friends.